But moving on to the kind of the meat and potatoes of the gaming news is PlayStation had a state of play a couple days before the Game Awards last week. And there's a lot of little things announced, but I kind of want to kind of go. I mean, if there's some stuff that I missed you want to talk about, go ahead and bring it up. I think the big stuff was it started off with Untitled Goose Game. It's out now, but it came out on the 17th, so it came out on Tuesday. And fun fact, Gables, I don't know if you know this. There is a free Untitled Goose Game theme you can download for your PS4.
I'm going to do that right after we get done recording, actually.
Yes, that's as soon as I found that out, I downloaded it. It is now my background. And I showed Courtney earlier today my background. I was like, hey, babe, look at this. And she's like, God damn it, Tyler. She's never been so disappointed in me. Yeah. So fun fact for people: if you don't have a soul, make that your goddamn theme on PlayStation. The big thing was Resident Evil 3 was announced, and it's coming out in April. I think it's April 23rd. I want to say. We had Dreams is finally getting a release date. I didn't realize. I forgot this game wasn't even out. I just thought it came out this year, but it was only like that early access thing. But it's out on February 14th, so Valentine's Day next year. Predator's Hunting Ground, which is coming out April 24th, which is basically like a Friday the 13th type game, but you Predator instead. It's coming out, and then ended with a Ghost of Tsushima trailer. Ooh, excuse me, I had a burp. Ghost of Tsushima trailer. That was kind of like a 30-second teaser, and it said, come back, watch the Game Awards, basically. So I don't know. Did you get a chance to watch this, Gables?
Yes, I did. Actually, I had a chance to watch that Ghost of Tsushima trailer. Got a chance to look at the clarity and everything else, and the combat and all that other stuff. It looks pretty freaking cool, personally.
Yeah. What'd you think of the state of play?
The state of play was all right. I think it was stupid the way they ended it on just the Ghost of Tsushima and like the two-parter and stuff. I mean, that could have ended like in a different way, but I thought it was fairly confident. I liked the aspect that they showed like different things for like the Aliens versus Predator stuff. I mean, I like that because it's starting to shape up to be a pretty fun game. Looks like. Yeah.
Oh, Resident Evil 3 is coming out April 3rd, not 23rd, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But it was kind of funny because we talked about like our last podcast. We were talking about the leaks coming out about Resident Evil 3, and we're like, that's a 2021 game for sure. There's no way they're going to release that game so soon. And then it was like
they do.
The very next day, PlayStation and I think the UK put an ad up on their store by accident for like a little bit for Resident Evil 3, and then like there's pictures of like the game art and stuff like that coming out. So it can't. Yeah. So it was funny that it finally got announced. It needed to be announced. That was the worst kept secret in gaming at that point.
It was.
But it's good. I love the way they set it up. Whereas like here's Resident Evil Resistance. It was funny because we were talking about that. Like, what about this game? This game's coming out next year. Like, there's no way they're going to release 2 Resident Evil games next year. And kind of find out it's actually just one game coming out. Nunu, I know. Sorry, she keeps whining. I think she has a poop. I don't know. Anyways, Resident Evil Resistance is actually going to be a part of Resident Evil 3. And it was kind of funny, actually. I was listening to some people talk about it. So what actually was going on was Resident Evil 2 and 3 were supposed to be one game.
One game?
So it was supposed to come out in one bundle. It was supposed to come out last year in one bundle. So they had 2 different teams working on it. But then Resident Evil 3 just wasn't coming together as quickly as 2 was. So they wanted to get 2 out, and they decided to make them 2 separate things. And they were working on this. There was somebody working on this other game, Resident Evil Resistance. It was something completely different. It wasn't even Resident Evil. It was just its own Resistance. It was just its own game. And then let's make this a Resident Evil game and tie it into 3. So that's how this all came to be. That's why it's coming out so soon. Was that they were working on it simultaneously. It's supposed to be one bundled together game, or not game, but one bundled together package, and it just didn't come together. So now we're getting this for next year.
Jeez.
But I love the way that the trailer worked out, where it's like, here's Resident Evil Resistance, and we're showing some stuff off of that, and it turned into here's Jill Valentine bursting through a door and run away, and it's Resident Evil 3. I thought that was really well done. I don't know, 2 and 3 I never actually played back in the day, so I don't know, like I want to go back and play Resident Evil 2, but this is really cool that this is happening, and I think I don't know, I might pick it up because I think April April is is Cyberpunk out that month?
Possibly.
Oh fuck, Gables. I think Cyberpunk is out that month.
Ooh,
and it
we're
comes
gonna
out.
have some fun.
And it comes out 2 weeks before Doom.
Yep.
Nope, never mind. Resident Evil 3 is gonna have to wait. It's
Do,
gonna have to
do,
wait.
do, 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 do.
Don't do that to me, Gables. Don't do that to me. I, during the Game Awards, they had like 5 different like commercials for Doom Eternal. I'm like, God, fucking damn it! Stop showing commercials for this game. I don't want to think about it until it's here.
Man, that month is like the Super Bowl, Christmas, the like freaking Extra Life, all rolled up into like 2 weeks.
Yes, yes, you're right. And Thanksgiving too. That's my favorite holiday.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. God damn it. Shit. Doom. It's 4 months away, Gables. I forgot about it and I thought about it again. God damn it, Gables. I can't stop thinking about Doom now. I'm gonna think about Doom. I'm gonna wake up in a cold sweat. I'm like, Doom.
It's like, Tyler, not again.
Yeah, this is like it's like a weekly occurrence. I just wake up. Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad time. I need to go talk to a therapist about this, my Doom obsession. I don't know. I really enjoyed the state of play. I actually like they're basically just copying Nintendo Directs, in a way. But I do like how like quick pace it is, where they don't spend a lot of time on stuff, and they actually like are now like having the first couple were kind of lame, where it's like whatever. There's nothing big coming out. It's just a lot of little stuff. But I do like the last couple. They had like Last of Us got a release date, even though they immediately a week later delayed it. But got a release date.
That's true.
And then but I do enjoy like it's kind of a combination of little stuff and the big stuff. So it kind of it gets a lot. It's gonna give people like mainstream. It's gonna get more mainstream attention than it would be like the big thing for the first one was Iron Man VR. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Like the Predator's hunting ground, I think could be a lot of fun. I hope that could be like the new Friday the 13th that we like for us. Or like, I mean, I think a big reason why Friday the 13th took off like it did for us last year was a PS Plus game. But that was a game that even before that, like some of us were playing together. But I love it if that game, if it's good. I mean, even like Friday the 13th, it's not technically it's a bad game, but we still had a blast playing that game like together. And I hope like we can still have that with the Predator game. I don't know. I don't know. Overall, what did you think of the state of play?
I thought it was all right. It's like it had some pretty good reveals and stuff like that, but it actually conveyed what I thought was going to, be, complete in terms of that. I didn't have really too much expectations going into it, and I was actually left impressed with what I did see.
Yeah. No, I agree. They haven't hashed out. I don't think. I'd still say it's not as good as like an average Nintendo Direct. But it's getting there. They're doing a good job with it. And I wouldn't mind if that's the future, like of like the like at E3 they just have state of plays now. And I've been saying that for years. I'd rather them have just do a pre-edited, put together stream instead of like a stage show. Like those are always more enjoyable. It's faster, get to the point quicker. And then we don't have to have like 20, 30 different people come on stage and talk about their game for 5 minutes.
Oh, God.
When I don't care about their fucking game. It's just 2 minutes of this game, move on. Moving on to the big meat and potatoes of the show. The Game Awards happened. I made Courtney watch it with me. Not really but she ended up watching them with me. But I don't think she realized that they were 3.5 hours long.
Oh, God.
Yeah, which I didn't realize they were going to be 3.5 hours long. We just got over. I'm like, it is like fucking 10:30 at night right now. We got to go to bed.
It actually felt like a fucking Academy Awards show.
Yeah, fuck. Like, it felt like we were watching a WrestleMania, but it was just 3 hours shorter. But I don't know. Anyways, so obviously a lot of us we don't watch it for the awards so much. We watch it for the reveals. It was a shock though this year. I think even though we talked about 2019 is a weird year, and it was kind of interesting to listen to people talk about like game of the year for this year, and it's like I've heard people talking about on Twitter and people on podcasts stuff like that, where it's like you listen to people talk about it, and it's like there's 15 different games, like people are talking about game of the year, and it's been like, but normally most years it's like 2 or 3 different games you hear. 90% of people talk about it's this game, it's this game, it's this game. There's only a few options. And this year there hasn't been there hasn't been those couple big games that came out this year. It's been a lot of games come out this year. None of them hit some of the levels of we talked about a million times, but like the other years. and you looked at like even that like the game of the year nominees. What was it? It was Death Stranding, Sekiro, Resident Evil 2, Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm forgetting two more. What were they? Smash
Hmm.
Bros. Ultimate, Resident Evil 2. I'm going to have to look at. Give me 1 second. 2019 Game Award nominees. Sorry, guys. I'm going to do this on the air. Oh, Control and Outer Worlds were
Yep.
the other two. But I was just like, it was kind of just a weird, year. I think I didn't like. It was the first time going into where I didn't have like, I wasn't what anything I was rooting for. Like, I played a few of those games this year, but I played Control. I played Resident Evil 2. I played a little bit of Death Stranding, but I didn't play all of those games. So like, this is the first time where I'm like, I wasn't rooting for anything. I was just kind of curious, like, who's gonna win. And Sekiro ended up winning Game of the Year. And I was like that happened. I'm like, wow, like stunned, like, and like I felt like going into it. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be Resident Evil 2, more than likely, or maybe Control were the ones I was looking at. Like
To be
those are like,
perfectly honest, I thought they were going to completely go with Death Stranding because of everything else.
yeah, I didn't think that, especially when they won best game direction. I'm like, okay, that they won that. That means they're out of it for game of the year. And I just felt like there's so many, it split the vote so much. It kind of came out with developers that it just wasn't going to do super well. It wasn't going to win rather. But yeah, I was thinking like Resident Evil 2 was like the front runner, and Control was on its tails. Like that was like one of the games I didn't even really consider that. And maybe part of it was because I didn't play the game, but I just felt like it came out earlier this year that it wasn't gonna win. But I don't know. Were you? What was your reaction when it won?
I was actually really surprised because, for one, it's like I did not expect Sekiro to get Game of the Year nods and stuff on the major stage and stuff at the Game Awards, because, you know, it's a quality game. I've played a few hours in regards to the game itself. It's very smart in terms of its level design. It is pretty simple in terms of getting some of the combat stuff down. All you have to do is really like counter and like trying to do some timing stuff and working through and actually stalking out your enemies and this and that and stuff like that is very intuitive, very fluid. And so getting past certain opponents and just getting that one more level type of feel on top of like going through and facing off against different enemies that take different types of patterns to beat. I could see how that type of structure led to this being a game of the year because of how intricate and how much time you'll spend trying to deduce patterns from enemies and stuff to get that right parry and get that right strike so that you could feel more accomplished. Because that's the major appeal of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Much like other games made from Software, you're faced with insurmountable sort of odds and challenge that once you overcome it, you absolutely feel ecstatic, like ecstasy, while you go through and do it. So it's like, I'm happy that the game got Game of the Year, and pretty much that's kind of like how I feel roughly about it.
Yeah, and like I said, we've talked about many times. And I've talked about many times where like this is a weird year, and I'm happy it won it. Like I said, I didn't have a horse in the race or anything like that. It was just like, oh, like I was shocked because like I said, I didn't think it was, to me it wasn't like it wasn't at the bottom of the list. I thought like Death Stranding and Smash Brothers were for sure not going to win it. But I was shocked that it did. But I think it's cool when you look at like the past winners. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. And like this with Sekiro, I was like, it just kind of like, I think this year's gonna stand out when you look in the past, where it's like, not saying Sekiro is not a great game or anything like that, but it's just like, I don't feel like it took over the gaming world like most years, where like it felt like one of those games that kind of came out at the beginning, especially beginning of the year when it was like a lot of shit came out, and it just kind of got lost in that shuffle a little bit. It wasn't the way, it didn't stand out, it didn't have its time to shine really. But yeah, no, I like I said, I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna complain about it. And it probably was really in the beginning and all be all probably the most deserving to win. But moving on to the announcements that happened. So kind of there's a pre-show that they announced like No More Heroes 3 is coming out next year. I haven't played any of the like Travis Strikes Again or any of those games.
Oh, you're in
So
for such a nice treat with those
yeah,
games.
so I was kind of I hope that I wish it was like they put like together like a little pack of them for the Switch you can play.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, like kind of like they did with like Bayonetta 1 and 2, like on the Switch.
Just
Like
have No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2.
yeah, I you know obviously they have the work's done because the big thing of that was like the Wiimote stuff, but
Dude,
it can be
the
done.
major appeal of those games back in the day when they first released, like it was like I think it was 2008 when the original one came out for the Wii. The major appeal of those, the motion controls, it was a mix between like an action game with like all sorts of wrestling moves. You collected wrestling masks and stuff, like as collectible cards and stuff. And basically, what you do is you could like not only could you like slice up like enemies with like a beam katana, man, but you could do like things like German suplexes and like all sorts of various other like wrestling moves you would learn from like collecting videotapes. It was a wild ass game. No More Heroes.
Yeah, yeah. I remember everybody kept saying it's like the Star Wars game that everybody wants. I'm like, God damn it! It's like, fuck, that sounds great.
It's definitely a cult classic to me.
Yeah.
The original.
So I'm looking forward to that. I want to see. I don't. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be a day one buy for me, but it's like definitely one thing I want to see what people are saying when it comes out, and then go from there.
Oh man, I'm fucking game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of hype around it. I'm sure it deserves it. But we had a Final Fantasy VII trailer. Just more of that. I don't think there's too much to say about that unless you want to add something to it.
Nah.
Nah, okay. But it kind of get into the show. They had this really weird trailer where it's like, all right, we got Master Chief, we got Forza Horizon, we got FIFA. What the fuck's going on? Come to find out, they revealed Xbox Series X, and we got to see what the console is going to look like. It looks like a tower of like a PC, but it can be placed horizontally. And that's the name of like what they're calling the. They're gonna have it's gonna be like the iPhone thing where there's gonna be different versions of it when it comes out. But that's gonna be like
sense.
that's gonna be the powerful one, like the Xbox One X. This will be the Xbox Series X. I don't know. What was your thoughts when you saw that?
I was actually surprised they unveiled it inside of this award show
Yeah.
because I was not expecting them to go through the extra mile, Microsoft, to not only announce the console over at the show, and honestly, it wasn't known, and I later read this from like Jeff Keighley himself on his Twitter, where it's like they didn't know that that was going to be a reveal until actually the day of the live rehearsal for the show, because it's like Microsoft wanted to have the surprise being actually on the showroom floor. So it wasn't it was the day of, I think, before they actually went live, where they rehearsed it, where it's like, yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're not going to just go on and on about like some bit of the Xbox stuff. We're just going to go on with the revealing of Series X, and that kind of took a lot of people by surprise there. So that was a nice welcome surprise. But I'll tell you what was also a surprise was seeing some bits of the first type of the gameplay trailer reveal for Hellblade 2, Senua's Sacrifice.
God, yes.
Dude, I absolutely love the reveal of that trailer. It was
so
fucking awesome.
I've watched it at least 10 more times since it came out,
Dude.
since it was revealed.
You and I both, because that was excellently presented. I don't care if the thing was partially pre-rendered or it was actually using in-game, like in-engine footage, like Phil Spencer and everybody else in Microsoft likes to say and tout. But at the same time, the presentation, the authentication of like the atmosphere of that game just felt like it was like some sort of like also this is kind of like a hellscape sort of thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna kick some ass, we're gonna do some stuff, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I raved about the first Hellblade 1, Senua's Sacrifice, in 2017. Like, that was one of the best games that came out that year. And what to me is like probably the greatest year in gaming of my lifetime. And Ninja Theory, I don't think has ever done a sequel before to any of their IPs. Usually they just make one and move on. And I talked about around E3 where like they announced that weird like Overwatch style game that was like coming out early access next year.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, like they're like so great at like third person action adventure games. Like where like don't, god damn it, don't do this to me. Like I like kind of what I was talking about earlier about like Campo Santos or like, you know, something like fuck, they got bought by somebody and they're changing them. And that was my concern for a long time. And the fact that we're seeing this, they said it's early development, so this is probably a couple years away at the earliest. But I am so happy we're getting Hellblade 2 because that first one came out of nowhere, blew me away. It's fantastic. And when Courtney saw it, she's like, that chick looks like a badass. I want to know more about this game. And I just went like a 10-minute rant about Hellblade 1, how great it is and fantastic it is, and I would not shut up about it. And I'm like, we're gonna sit down and you're gonna watch me play this game. Like that's she's like, oh no, she said that. She's like, I want to see you play the game. Like, I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with you playing that game. It's fucking awesome. But that was to me that was the second biggest thing of the show for me. Next up, we had Godfall. I don't know who's making that game. I looked it up. Who was it? I want to say it's Platinum. I feel like that's wrong.
I don't know.
Let me see. Godfall is Godfall. Here we go. Who the frack is making it? Counterplay. Oh, Gearbox is publishing it. That's what I was thinking of. But Counterplay is making it, which I don't know. Have they made anything before? It's like it's like a combination of a bunch of different people. Like they worked on like Destiny 2 and shit like that. Yeah, so that's the first game officially announced for the PS5. It's coming out. It sounds like it's gonna be a launch title. That didn't do much for me. It just was like a
no.
Hack and slash.
After watching the Hellblade 2 stuff and all of a sudden getting confirmation that there's the first PS5 game, Godfall, I was just kind of like meh to the whole thing.
Yeah, we didn't really see like any real gameplay for it, but I was just like, maybe when we see more, we see some gameplay, it'll be a little different. But I just kind of came away from it like, okay, looks all right. Looks like
I personally kind of wonder like who at Sony that was attending that audience of watching that thing going those just like kind of shat bricks when they saw that fucking announced trailers.
Like, fuck.
Hellblade 2.
Yeah. And not only did the new Xbox get revealed, but they also Hellblade 2, like a better I don't know, maybe Godfall will come out and blow us away. But it looks like I was watching. I'm like, it looks like a stereotypical like launch game, where it's like it's like the kill zone of. It looks like it's gonna be the kill zone of the PS5.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Then we had Bravely Default 2 is coming out in 2020.
That was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, that got an audible gasp for me. I'm like, huh? Really? Okay, like not like a bad one, but I'm like, oh, okay. Like after Octopath Traveler kind of like came out and people loved it, got rave reviews. It's weird that they're going back to Bravely Default. Like you think that you would see another Octopath. Sorry. You think you'd see another Octopath Traveler before we see another Bravely Default, but I don't know. The Bravely Default games had a lot of positive buzz around it when it came out for the 3DS. So I guess it makes sense, or maybe it was well into development before Octopath Traveler came out. I don't know, but I don't know. What's your thoughts on Bravely Default 2?
Well, I'm actually glad that it's getting made stuff. I know there was like a lot of confusion because of Bravely Second coming out on the 3DS, and people thinking that was the second game in it, but apparently that's not the sequel to it.
Yeah, that's weird. That's what I was thinking about too. I was like, wasn't there already a Bravely Default 2?
There was like Bravely Default, like Bravely Second, which I thought was the sequel, but I guess not.
It's the second one. It's not 2. It's different, completely different. I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of came away from. They're like, oh, okay. Like, makes sense, I guess. I mean, we're gonna have maybe it's just a way of making. Like I said, it's probably already well in development before Octopath Traveler came out and kind of blew everybody away, and this is like their way to get one of those out sooner. Because Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default were a lot of the ways the same game. So, I don't know. Then we had the Ghost of Tsushima trailer. I don't know. You talked about it already.
Yeah.
I feel like it looks pretty good. I'm not like. I feel like we haven't seen enough of that game yet. Where I feel like there's that big four we had of PlayStation games. Now it's the last of the big four to come out. But I don't know. I hope it's good. It looks like it could be good. But it's like of like the big four, it's like the one I've always been least interested in. But maybe when we see some more gameplay, maybe around E3 time or something like that, it'll change. It's coming out in December 2020 as well. Maybe we'll change our mind on, or I'll change my mind on it. But I think it could be really good. Anything you want to add on that before we move on?
No.
Okay. Then Gears Tactics was revealed. It's basically like an XCOM game, but it's in the Gears universe. It comes out April 28th. It's going to be on Game Pass, but you can also buy it. I'm really excited about the game, A, because of Gears, and B, because I love like XCOM style gameplay. I don't like XCOM because I don't like the the permadeath stuff, and I don't like all the side shit you have to do in XCOM. But I love that style of gameplay. So I'm pretty much all in on Gears Tactic at this point. I don't know about you, but I can't wait for that game.
I was fairly curious about it because it kind of reminded me of Valkyria Chronicles in some retrospect because
Okay.
it's like because in that game it's also sort of similar to the kind of like how XCOM did it to where you can move soldiers across the game like the board and stuff like that, and then like you can go into like a specific like say first person or third person mode and then just shoot like aliens and like not just aliens but like just shoot things and stuff and advance things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought that looked really good. And then I think one of the more shocking things of the show was Wolf Among Us 2 was revealed to be back in development. It was like it was one of the last games. Telltale was working on before they went out of business. They're working on this and the new Stranger Things game. And the fact that this is when Telltale was bought and kind of rebranded and brought back from the dead. That was one of the IPs they said they were able to keep was Wolf Among Us IP. But I guess that kind of came out like, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But it's Telltale, but it's not Telltale. It's not the people that made the game. It's just the company that's making the game. And it kind of came out that a lot of people from Telltale that left made their own studio, and they actually have contracted them to make this Wolf Among Us 2. And they're doing it with the new engine, the Unity engine. Finally, Telltale Games is going to have a new engine, and they're starting all over from the ground up because it was already in pre-development well into development actually when it was supposed to come out. It was supposed to start coming out middle or end of this year. The Wolf Among Us 2 or season 2 was. So it's kind of interesting. It's not only they're bringing back some of the old people, but they're also going to start all over again. So I'm excited about that. Wolf Among Us is the one game after post Walking Dead season 1 that I haven't finished. I've had it on my pile of shame for years on my PS4, but yeah, I think that's cool that they're bringing it back. I'm hoping it's probably going to be quite a while before we see anything from that, but I'm happy to see that they're coming out. It's coming out. They're already announcing stuff so soon. I know you're not a big Telltale guy, but what was your thoughts when that happened?
I'm actually fairly surprised because I thought Telltale was pretty much done and over with.
Yeah, I didn't think Wolf Among Us would be the thing they come back with. I thought they try to get some other big IP or try to do some Walking Dead thing again or something, but I was not expecting because even though Wolf Among Us is considered for a lot of people it's their biggest thing. A lot of people's their favorite Telltale thing. It's not the one they're Walking Dead is always their the biggest thing. Like Batman's bigger. There's always a few bigger ones. Like Wolf Among Us is probably as far as the IPs that they've worked on towards the bottom of the barrel as far of popular IPs. But I think the most shocking thing in the show to me, and I literally jumped out of my couch when it was revealed, Fast and Furious Crossroads. Easily the game, the moment of the show for me. And then when he started Vin Diesel came out with Michelle Rodriguez and he's like, I just saw the Fast 4-minute Fast 9 trailer. I'm like, oh, it's happening. We're gonna get Fast 9, guys. I jumped up. I was freaking out. I'm like, Courtney, we're getting it. It's happening. We're getting it. I was so excited. And she's looking at me like, I regret this entire relationship. That was the look in her face where she was like, I fucked up. That's the feeling I get that she had. But we didn't get the Fast 9 trailer, but we got the trailer for Fast and Furious Crossroads. It's coming out May 20th. I was like, oh, okay. I was trying to tell myself oh, this could be good. And it's a Project Car guys. They do a good job. But then it came out and it's $60, and then the hype kind of wore off a little bit. And this game looks bad. It doesn't look good, Gables.
I would have preferred just getting the Fast 9 trailer. That's what I thought initially. Because looking at that game does not look good at all. It looks half-baked. It looks like a cash-in. And quite honestly, that moment on stage at the Game Awards is exactly the type of moment that we don't need to have on this kind of award show, because it represents the best and also the worst things of the game industry, this entire show in general. And one of the things that honestly that dogged say Spike's video game award show, or even like some of the X Play stuff, is cheesy shit like that with Vin Diesel and this and that. You know, where it's like,
but
oh, let's introduce this license game here. This is from the Fast and Furious and stuff, and it looks like a fucking untitled like PS3 game that looks shitty.
I mean, to be fair though, like Michelle Rodriguez and Vin Diesel are like actually big gaming nerds. Like,
Well, that's true.
like Vin Diesel and her like legitimately would play Dungeons and Dragons in their trailers between takes and shit. Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's nice that like when they were saying these are our people, they weren't kidding. Like those, like they're nerds too. And that was kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm fanboying a little bit because I love the Fast and Furious series. So like I keep trying to get Courtney to watch it with me. She won't do it. She won't break, Gables. She won't break.
Oh my god! I'll tell you what though. It's like, it's that moment plus the moment with freaking The Rock and like Jack Black and stuff like that. The Jumanji, the fucking game and stuff.
Hey,
where it's like
that was a good movie.
No,
That was
I'm
a
talking
good
about the
movie.
game.
Oh,
I'm talking
there's
about the
a game?
I did not mean there's a game, and it
I forgot
actually,
about that. Oh my god.
and that thing was actually shown a little bit and stuff like that at that Game Awards show. And you know, it's like The Rock and Jack Black are trying to play this game up, right? And it's like we've seen these guys used better in other video games,
Yeah.
in the past, and it's
true.
like they're trying to play it off like it's like, oh, I'm in a video game. Like, oh my fucking god, no,
Yeah. No.
no.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with the Gables where like I'd rather just have like after the fact I'd rather just have a Fast 9 trailer. And I'm like every morning I wake up I'm like, okay, go to YouTube, maybe it's out. Fuck. That's my feeling. Every time I go to YouTube and I don't see a Fast 9 trailer, I die a little bit more inside. But I don't know. Overall, like, what was your thoughts on the Game Awards? Like, is it better? Was it okay? Thumbs in the middle?
You know what? I thought it was pretty good for the most part because I was impressed by the reveals that were there. Actually liked that a bit of the people who did get awards got awards. It definitely went into a direction that I thought that was for the positive. There obviously were some negative stuff inside of that. I mean, I just got done mentioning them, but I thought the overall show quality was pretty good. How about you, Tyler?
I'm in agreement. It's still too long, and that's been my complaint every year. It's like there's been years where it was 3.5 hours this year. There's been years where it was longer. And I still really enjoy it. I look forward to the awards. Like this is a weird year where I didn't really have a lot of things I was like rooting for so much. It was just kind of like I wanted to see what people won. Like it was crazy that Disco Asylum Elysium. Thank you. Like a game that kind of like I think it's cool. That's great. That a game like that came out of nowhere and it actually won the most awards this year. And that's like it looks great. I do want to play it when it comes out to consoles.
Absolutely heard nothing about this game throughout this entire year and stuff until that moment.
Yeah. I've heard people talk about the last couple months. I think it came out in PC like in October and November, and I kind of heard people talking about it, and I watched some stuff on it. It looks great. And I do want to play it, but I like it's cool like seeing stuff like that. Like every year we have those kind of games that come out, or like Celeste last year, where it's just like there was some buzz around it, but it just blew up, and like, even got a 10 out of 10 on IGN. Like that was, and it was even in the nominee for Game of the Year last year. But I don't know. There's always gonna be negatives with it. It's never gonna be perfect. It was like to me, it's too long. I think I'd rather see it in a 2-hour package. It was crazy. It's 3.5 hours long, but even like half the awards aren't even like on the show. Like most of them were just announced. Like Jeff Keighley announces them, like 5 or 6 of them really fast, back to back to back, and then or some are like Sekiro also won Best Action Adventure Game as they're walking up to the stage to accept an award. They reveal like they won 3 other awards, things like that. But I don't know, like it's never gonna be perfect. The second half really dragged for me. I think the first half like flew by. It was fantastic. They had a lot of big reveals after reveal. You're not gonna top a lot of those like Xbox Series X, Hellblade, Ghost of Tsushima, Gears Tactic. It was very front heavy, I thought. But like the second half, like we had a lot of ads. There was a lot of those Dungeons and Dragons ads that kept popping up. I'm like, fuck off.
Those fucking those freaking Google Stadia ads were fucking atrocious.
Yeah, we had like a lot of
absolutely hate those things.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ads like that. Like I feel like a lot of them were in the back half of it. And it was just, it was for me, the game didn't start till I think 7:30, so it didn't get done till about 11. This is a Thursday night, so it's late. But I don't know. And then we gotta take those things. I'd much rather have this Game Awards than the Spike TV ones, or not have one at all. Like
easily. Easily, I'd rather have this type of award show than I would have Spikes any time of the year.
Yeah, but or even like if we have to take the celebrities that don't care about the games, or we get the all the commercials. At least it's not as bad as the first year they did it, where it was like where they had the one host that just made fun of gamers the entire time.
And, that douche. Yep.
Yeah, and then like the second year where like we had the shit Hydro Man or whatever shit the whole time. That was terrible. The Razor thing, like every year I feel like it gets better. Like I feel like last year was better because of the announcements he had. He had a lot more bangers last year. Like I was hoping something bigger from Nintendo than what we got. We got some good stuff, but like we didn't get the big thing. Like we didn't get Joker. Like Joker was a holy shit moment last year.
Yep.
Being for Smash. But I mean, I guess like the Xbox Series X is probably like the biggest reveal he's ever had for the show in the 6 years they've had the show. But yeah, yep. I don't know. Overall, I feel like for the most part it gets better every year. Just kind of depends. I mean, the announcements is what makes the show for me, but yeah, I really enjoy the show every year. I look forward to it. It's like it's like a mini E3, and like 6 months after the fact. Like E3 is our mid-year thing, and then we had the one another mini E3 at the end of the year. So yeah, it was really fun, and I hope next year's if you're like this every year, I'm okay with that. Like it's never gonna be perfect. We're always gonna have to take the bullshit because it's got to make money to be around. So we're always gonna take the bad to keep this thing going. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to next year. I think it's gonna be even crazier next year because I was talking about like I feel like a lot of people are holding stuff close to like their cards close to their vest because the new generation is coming out. Even though we got some big stuff, I feel like there's a lot bigger shit that we don't even know about yet. That I think E3 is gonna be crazy next year. I think really the beginning of the year is gonna be crazy when we start to actually when Sony does their own PlayStation 5 event, Microsoft does their own Xbox event. And
then taking into account that Nintendo might try to counteract something with revealing like a high-end edition of the fucking Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, like we really don't even know much about 2020 for Switch. Like we didn't know anything for 2020 outside of Animal Crossing. Yep. And now we got Bravely Default and No More Heroes 3 because soon there's going to be a Pokemon game. There's got to be like a Zelda game or something big coming out next year.
Breath of the Wild 2. Yeah, that sequel to Breath of the Wild is probably going to be released next year.
I feel like it's going to be next year or 2021. Or maybe a Mario Odyssey 2.
Honestly, if they're going to compete with like the next generation, like just consoles revealing next year, a Zelda game would actually make the most sense.
Yeah.
Or maybe even something like even bigger than that. Who knows?
Yeah. So I'm excited. Next year's gonna be crazy year, but and I feel like it's gonna make the Game Awards even crazier next year. Really enjoyed it overall. But I think that's gonna do it for us this week, Gables. So the next time you hear from us, we'll be going through our Game of the Decades show, and then I don't know how we're gonna do it, and then eventually we're gonna do our Game of the Year of 2019 show, probably sometime in January. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. You can hear more from us. We have a Facebook page and group, Drunk Dashers Podcast. Like and join us on there. On Twitter at Drunk Nerds Pod. Follow us on there. On Spotify, we're there, Drunk Dashers Podcast. Follow us on there. If you know how to leave a review, give us a nice one. On YouTube, Drunk Dashers, like and subscribe on there, please. Leave us a comment as well on iTunes. We're there as well, Drunk Dashers Podcast. Subscribe, please, and give us a 5-star review and leave us a comment. Really appreciate you did that. And on Twitch, Drunk Nerds Podcast, and also Colonel Gables. So follow them on there, please. So thank you guys so much for listening. I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, have yourself a fun time, play yourself some good games, but most importantly of all, thank you for enjoying another fun-filled episode of the Drunk Dash Nerds Podcast.
Hey, Gables?
Yeah?
Too sweet.
Too sweet, man.
Bye, guys.
See ya.